Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Stone Stadium, where the South Carolina Gamecocks are taking on the East Tennessee State Buccaneers. We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Zander Collins, and I'm joined by my good friend Austin McConnell. And we've got a great matchup for you tonight. Gamecocks looking to stay unbeaten, and East Tennessee State looking to change their luck. A rough start to the season for them. Carolina coming off of a 4-0 thumping of USC Upstate, where they were able to keep their first clean sheet of the season. And East Tennessee State coming off of a really, really close 1-0 loss to High Point University.
Yeah, you talked about the misfortune for East Tennessee State to start the year. It's been quite the opposite for the Gamecocks. It's their longest unbeaten streak to open the season since 2003. So it's been a while, a long while, since the Gamecocks have had some success. And stay with us, because after the national anthem, we're going to get into starting lineups.
Thank you.
What a cool national anthem that was.
That was
The electric
incredible.
guitar got me fired up. Why don't we go ahead and get into some starting lineups? Who's starting for the Gamecocks?
Absolutely. Tony Annan's squad is made up tonight with, in between the sticks for the Gamecocks, is goalkeeper number 1, Philippe Vestier. Defender number 2, Andrew Goldsworthy, joins defender number 5, William Nilsson at the back. In the squad, starting tonight for the first time in a little bit, is forward number 7, Bryce Griffith. In the midfield, we'll have number 8, Jack Burgess. Einar Ness, another player coming into the squad for this game, number 9. And midfield duo that's been pretty good for the Gamecocks this season, number 10, Ethan Ballack, and number 12, Sebastian Revan-Lamorier. Cam Kowalski comes back into the lineup after his goal last week against USC Upstate. Another goal scorer in that match, number 15, Alejandro Velasquez-Lopez, and Ted Cargill will round out the squad with 2 assists in that last game.
Yeah, and Amy, no Myring tonight.
No
To
Myring.
start the lineup at least. Not sure if he's going to play. Maybe it's a rest game for him. So very interested to see if he takes the pitch at all, but he's not starting tonight. Nothing's wrong with him. He's doing just fine, notching 2 goals last Tuesday. But now for East Tennessee State, starting at goalkeeper, it's Mark Cuadillo wearing number 1. At defense, number 2, Dave Ninehouse. At number 3, defense, Hubert Daragon. And at midfield, number 5, Ulysses Hendricks. A lot of foreign players, so very adamant on the pronunciations here tonight. Continuing on, midfield, number 8, Louis Salkeld. Forward, number 10, Abdi Bahor. At midfield, number 12, Oliver Einarson. Defense, number 15, Henrique Cruz. Defense, number 24, Nico Cross. And rounding out the midfield, number 25, Shuit Wharton. We're excited to see this matchup here tonight. I think a lot of fans who have turned out, it's a good show, are excited to see what we think is going to be a lopsided game.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Austin. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, USC Upstate last game for Carolina. They ended up winning 4-0. Earlier in the season, I think it was their second game of the season. East Tennessee State fell to them 2-0. So we're expecting this one to be kind of a lopsided one, but as we say all the time, anybody can win any game in college soccer. But the Gamecocks are going to really want to win this one because they take on number 6 Marshall at home next week, who head a very, very strong Sun Belt conference. I mean, South Carolina's sitting pretty at 4th. We didn't think that at the start of the season, specifically for them. You mentioned their strong start of the season, but they're doing very well, and East Tennessee State struggling a little bit.
Now, we mentioned how anybody can come in here, and here's a stat for you. On Sundays, historically, under Tony Annan, the Gamecocks are 2-8-3. They have 1 tie under that column this year, so a crazy stat, but it's Sunday, it's 7 p.m. here in Stone Stadium. Anything can happen. We don't want to announce or jinx our team here.
No.
East Tennessee State could play spoiler. Maybe they've found something at practice this week that has turned their ship around. Gamecocks trying to keep their ship on the right course. We saw them last Tuesday. Zander and I were on that call as well. So we saw how well they played. On Tuesday, got that 4-0 win that Zander just mentioned, and they're looking to hopefully have the same success tonight.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the Gamecocks got a difficult schedule coming up for their next 5, being Sun Belt Conference matchups. Their next game against Marshall, they've got a nice little break where they'll play Queens University from Charlotte. But then the next 3 after that, it's all Sun Belt. Coastal Carolina, Kentucky, and Georgia State, all of which have been pretty good this season. So, as we mentioned, no easy match, obviously, in college soccer, but this is one that the Gamecocks should feel that they should be able to win, especially to gain momentum going into Marshall.
Yeah, and they're already creeping up on their 2023 overall record, which was 6-9-3. Definitely looking to at least flip that around. You mentioned all the big games coming up. These are good test games for South Carolina. Not an easy matchup at all, but one that they can certainly run around if they continue to stick to Tony Annan's game plan and his very fresh squad.
Absolutely. A lot of changes, as we mentioned, in that lineup. Kind of resting the players. Specifically, we mentioned Harrison Myring, who's been so good for them, as Captain Gabriel Ramos will kick this one off for the Buccaneers. Possession lies on this right-hand side. It will be bumped up to the middle, trying to find striker. Header lost by Ramos, and it'll be Camden Kowalski booting the ball up into the air, finding William Nilsson, who's not able to win the header, and Shuart Wharton will have the ball on that left-hand side for the Buccaneers. Plays in a through pass. Cross looking to come in. It's done. Camden Kowalski does well to win a goal kick for his side after that block comes back off of Louis Salkeld. In between the sticks, as we mentioned, is Philippe Versteer, who's been so important for this Carolina squad this season, the freshman from Denmark. Got his first clean sheet of the season last week. He had been looking for it all season, looking to continue some of that success tonight.
He has 12 saves on the season, a .667 save percentage, so he's definitely found his way in goal. And he's a freshman, so he's young. He's laying that foundation for South Carolina. If they can trust their goaltender as well as they do now, they're going to have a lot more comfort on the attack.
Kowalski playing the ball back across the back line to Andrew Goldsworthy, and it'll come out to this left-hand side for William Nilsson. Back to Goldsworthy. He'll send it out to the right. Back to Camden Kowalski. Kowalski surveying the long ball, not going for it. Back to Goldsworthy. And over to Nilsson. And back to Goldsworthy. Keeping possession like they haven't actually been doing all season. They've been quick to launch the long ball, but East Tennessee State not really pressing and allowing them to just knock the ball around in their own half.
Normally in the, if you look at the shots by period in the first and second half, they have 42 total in the first, 27 in the second. So normally they're a team who likes to get their opponents on their heels quickly. This time taking a different approach and slowing things down, and here comes that long ball.
Here comes the long ball out to this right-hand side. It'll be collected by Cuadio with his first touch of the night. Looking to be a safe pair of hands in the net for this Buccaneers side, who haven't had a lot of success this season. Specifically, in one of their previous games, they lost 6-0 to North Carolina. I know it's an ACC team in their best soccer conference, but still not a scoreline you want to see.
That long ball had a lot of carry on it as well. It's a windy night here. If you look at the, well, you guys can't because you're looking at us, but the American flag and the Gamecock flag and the state of South Carolina flag blowing pretty heavily. You look out at the fans, their hairs are blowing. We were down there on the field. It's windy. for sure. So we're going to see a lot of balls, like I think, get a lot of unexpected carry. And maybe that's why the Gamecocks are taking it slow. They're trying to feel it out.
Yep. Andrew Goldworthy with a pass, breaking the lines with that pass here. Possession will be with Camden Kowalski and back to Andrew Goldsworthy, who will send it to this left-hand side with William Nilsson.
Goldsworthy was Sun Belt Conference Player
Velasquez
of the Week.
Lopez with the ball in for Ballack, but it'll be collected by Cuadio. Again, as you mentioned, that wind already playing a huge factor here at Stone Stadium. Nico Cruz with the ball on this right-hand side for the Buccaneers. He'll send a long ball up, looking for Abdi Bahur, but it will be collected by Velasquez Lopez, who will find Burgess on the left. William Nilsson will boot it up and was in a little bit of danger there, boots it up high into the sky. Possession collected by Ulysses Kendrick. On the ball now for the Buccaneers is number 25, Shuett Wharton. Dribbling around into the middle of the field and playing a ball across the field to an important player for this Buccaneer side it's going to be a foul there. Enrique Cruz, who's got 2 goals this season and 1 assist from that right back position. Super important for this ETSU side. He's in a lot of pain right now after that foul on him. It'll be a yellow card awarded to captain tonight, Sebastian Revello-Morier.
60th foul on the season for South Carolina, and it's a pretty big one.
Need to show a little bit of discipline, especially because they'll want to cut that out going into the next game against Marshall, who historically been top 5 ranked, especially this season. They sit at number 6 right now, but last year they spent some time at the top of the AP rankings. Great squad, great coach. They'll want to look to cut some of that out before they go and host the Herd next week.
Yeah, it's been a very disciplined season so far for South Carolina. Haven't had many red cards. We saw St. Juice. He's not in the lineup tonight because of his red card last week. That was the first one. Only the 4th player in the nation. A lot of teams have been playing very disciplined, and it's gonna be very big factor if they get to the College Cup, if they get to that big tournament, and even just in late conference play. They were disciplined against Clemson, and we saw a 2-2 draw there. So they're gonna have to keep doing it the rest of the year. And yeah, not exactly what Sebastian wanted to see. Just 5 minutes into this game.
Absolutely.
And we hope Henry Cruz is okay.
Yeah, he's got the trainers around him. Revello-Morier consoling him after that hard tackle. You mentioned St. Just, his red card last game. I mean, he's looking good on the bench with his polo on, but obviously he'd be wanting to play in this one to kind of get match ready for Marshall. I mean, we'll mention that all night. That's probably the biggest match they're going to have in this next stretch of games, especially as they start conference play in the Sun Belt. And the yellow's been upgraded to a red here, it looks, for Revello-Morier. He's just gone into the tunnel.
Well, so we just mentioned St. Juice had a red card last week, and now here's Sebastian with another one. Red cards in back-to-back games for South Carolina.
Not even 5 minutes into this first half here.
South Carolina, we talked about there's no easy match. You cannot take anything lightly. You can't make any dumb mistakes such as that one, to put it bluntly.
I didn't even see him pull out the red, and I just saw Revello-Morier kind of looking very disappointed walking into the tunnel there. But no, Tony Annan and his assistant coach is kind of reining everything in here as they talk to their squad during this injury timeout.
I told them just to wake up, but take it easy. Calm down.
Calm down,
you don't have to get too amped up. We're 5 minutes into the game. And this is not what you want to see here with the cart coming onto the field. They're wrapping up that left leg right now.
Oh, man, that's going to be a huge blow for the Buccaneers, as I mentioned. Enrique Cruz been a huge part of what they've been able to accomplish offensively this year. I mean, he plays right back, but he's one of their top scorers, has the most points on the team, 2 goals and 1 assist on the season for him. He actually scored and assisted in their last positive result against UNC Wilmington a few games ago. They're going to miss him dearly, especially as he was probably going to be able to create a lot on this side, especially with these changes going into this squad for the Gamecocks, looking to send some of those crosses in.
We saw where that tackle came from. I mean, he had a step on the outer edge, trying to get around Sebastian there. He's hitting the ground. He's obviously very frustrated. nobody wants to be injured, obviously,
No.
but especially your star player, East Tennessee State fans, definitely a little upset. Um, actually, should be very upset. And what do you think about the upgrade to the red card? Did you think it was that egregious, or did you think?
I mean, I could have seen it either way. I didn't see if he went studs up, but obviously that's the distinction between being sent off and given a warning. So it had to have been pretty malicious. I mean, he's on a stretcher, so I mean, rightfully so, he's sent off if he's injuring another player like that. Huge blow for both teams, obviously, going down to 10 men. They're going to get really tired running around.
Fans are starting to cheer as he's
yeah.
now on the stretcher. 5 guys just picked him up and put him there. His captain hanging right around him, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, Captain Gabriel Ramos, who kicked this game off for us, being a leader on the field already with this injury coming out. Everybody on the ETSU team now coming over and wishing him good health. He's on the stretcher. He'll be taken off soon, and play will resume in a few minutes. Only just about 4 minutes into this game. 40:56 left on this clock. I want to remind you the Gamecocks are going right to left, and the ETSU Buccaneers are going left to right.
Yeah, not to change topics too quickly here, but we were talking about it at the beginning of the game. Both these teams are very young, and so having a guy like Ramos being a graduate student, you obviously see he cares for those guys. Cruz is a junior, so he's still technically an upperclassman, but having that foundation led by seniors, juniors, graduates, that's what makes a great team. And South Carolina's got a lot of underclassmen as well. They have 8 freshmen, 7 sophomores. So just a mistake from Sebastian.
Yeah.
We send our thoughts and prayers to Cruz. We hope he's doing all right. He's sitting up on the stretcher. Just a leg thing, it looks like. It was a very aggressive play, but it's tough to just hop back into a game now.
No, absolutely.
You got to get mentally focused, mentally check back in.
I mean, that red card's going to weigh a lot on this Gamecock side's minds, as Ramos, as we mentioned, the captain will be swinging in this free kick just from about in between the midway and the box, looking to get an in-swinger in with this right foot. Look for a ball looping into the back post. Waiting for the ref signal. He gets it, and he will run up and send a ball in. It'll be kicked away by Ted Cargill and find Velasquez Lopez, who is dispossessed, and it'll be on this right-hand side with Oliver Einarsson, who plays a ball, and it'll be kicked out. Back with Wharton on this right-hand side, has Einarsson on. It'll be a left-footed cross blocked by Nilsson, excuse me. ETSU will look to kind of recycle possession back, but Balak does a great job to win that ball from behind, and will play Camden Kowalski on this right-hand side.
And Nilsson made a great block down here right in front of Phillip in net for the Gamecocks. If he doesn't get a foot on that, that's going right into the center of the box. So disaster avoided by the Gamecocks.
Jack Burgess on this left-hand side for the Gamecocks will send it back to his center back, William Nilsson. Gamecocks playing a 3-back when in possession, loving to have Camden Kowalski fly up that right-hand side, much as St. Juice would be doing for them if he were able to play. Velasquez Lopez plays a 1-2 with Goldsworthy, and it'll come out to that right-hand side with Kowalski. Back to Goldsworthy in the middle of the pitch. He'll send the ball out to William Nilsson, who will look to find Burgess again. Burgess will find Velasquez Lopez in the middle with a little bit of space. He'll dribble out of bounds, and it'll be a throw for the Bucks.
Gamecocks, we talked about earlier, taking their time, setting things up, but it's starting to work. They're starting to pick apart this East Tennessee State defense. Just that one, that's a bad turnover there for the Gamecocks. They had something going there.
Marvick will come in for the Bucks as a replacement for the injured Enrique Cruz. The freshman from Norway. We mentioned a lot of freshmen on this Gamecock squad. There's a lot on this East Tennessee State squad as well. About a third of their team being newcomers to the collegiate game. Possession will find Shuett Wharton, who has Velasquez Lopez on his back. He'll play his center back in Hubert Daragon. And back to number 24, Nico Cruz, with a little bit of space to work with on this right-hand side. Find Maverick.
That was good pressure there from Bryce Griffith. Don't let them set up and make any deep plays, pressure them and have them get the ball out early and make them make a mistake.
Einhaus with the ball into the midfield for Ramos, but it'll come back to Ulysses Endrick and back to Nico Cruz, who will find Luis Salkeld on this right-hand side. And it'll be recycled back to the center back. A little bit of space to work with. Find a ball for Merrick on this right-hand side, and we'll send it in to number 25, Shuett Wharton, who will be pushed in the back, and it will be a foul on ETSU. Some of the people in the booth not even knowing what the call is, so we're right there with them. Verstier looking to get play restarted here as Goldsworthy's on the ball. Slips a little bit. I know it's windy, but it's not that windy.
Yeah, they had the sprinklers on pregame.
Yeah.
So the fields. We saw one of the athletic trainers get a.
Velasquez Lopez with a long ball looking for Burgess. It'll be headed away, and Ethan Ballack will retain possession. Finds Cargill, who had 2 assists in that last game against USC Upstate. Burgess looking to drive in at the top of the box. It's booted away all the way back to Goldsworthy by Nico Cruz. Velasquez Lopez with some time and space in the center circle. Pass it back to Goldsworthy, who will send in a pass towards Bryce Griffiths. That will not make it to him, as that'll be Oliver Einarsson getting fouled on that ball that found its way all the way back to Philippe Verstier.
Just had too hard of a touch there from off the foot of Cargill. He had the right idea. It looked like I thought he was going to play the long ball, but then he kind of, reloaded it and made a move to the left, just too hard, and that was very easy for East Tennessee State to clear.
Ninehouse will get us back underway here with number 8. That is Louis Salkeld. He'll play it back to Cruz. Salkeld will receive the ball again, try to play a through ball into Einarsson, but it'll be taken away by Ted Cargill on the ball now. Play Goldsworthy with a quick pass out to the left to Nilsson. Back to Cargill and then back to Goldsworthy. Nice little bit of intricate play there for the Gamecocks to get themselves out of danger as ETSU starting to press for the first time this match.
That's the second time the defense has kind of used a square or triangle formation depending on how many players were there. They just use that back line and Philip Verstier to calm down and don't boot the ball out, give them a throw in on their side of the half. They did a great job there staying composed and just getting the ball out whenever necessary.
It's a game about triangles. It's what my coaches used to tell me. I mean, if you keep yourself in a position where there's 2 guys on either side of you, you'll be pretty much fine. But Cargill sending a pass into Ballack, who's able to do a nice little turn on this right-hand side for the Gamecocks. Pass back to Goldsworthy, who's probably had the most touches in this game so far, just spraying possession to each of his fullbacks. Nilsson on the ball will send it into Velasquez Lopez. Ball into Ballack, playing sort of a false 9 position, just as Bryce Griffiths usually does.
Velasquez Lopez found his 3rd goal of the season last Tuesday. He joined good company with Ethan Ballack, and Harrison Myring not playing right now, or tonight maybe. We're not quite sure. He has 5 goals and currently leads the team, but it's nice when you can diversify the score sheet and have Velasquez Lopez and Ballack knocking on Harrison's door.
Ball out to this right-hand side is intercepted by Goldsworthy, or is passed by Goldsworthy, excuse me. Ball looking for number 10. Abdu Bahur doesn't connect. Burgess will send it up the line, and it'll be intercepted by Einarsson, and he'll be fouled from behind. It'll be a free kick for the Bucks.
Burgess didn't really think that was a foul. He was definitely on Salkeld's back, but ref deemed it a little too aggressive.
Yep, Salkeld looking to get play started again. He'll play it back to Ninehouse in the center of that defense. Hendricks on the ball now. He'll send it back to Ninehouse and back over to Cruz. Nearing this side, closest to us in the press box, that right-hand side for the Bucks. Foot comes in from Velasquez Lopez, and it'll go out for a throw.
Tonight's officials, the referee Benjamin Oakley, assistant referee David Elkin, and alternate official Phil Conway.
Yep, 33 minutes left to go in this first half. Been pretty even so far. I mean, neither squad being able to get anything really going. Carolina with the bulk of possession, but they've just been kind of knocking it around the back line. Haven't been able to do much in the other half of the field. So that ball will come after a miscommunication between Ramos and Ninehouse, and it'll be a throw for Carolina.
You think this first half, both these teams are just trying to figure each other out, at least for the first, 10,
Bryce
15
Griffiths
minutes.
with a nice turn here. He's in the box now, looking for a cross, but no one's there. He'll cut it back to Ethan Ballack at the top of the box, and he'll be dispossessed from behind by Hendrick.
Ballack has to get that off quicker. I know he was in the box and trying to make the right play, but 3-4 touches, and he's swarmed by multiple defenders.
Ball out to Bahur on this right-hand side, looking to get something going against William Nilsson. Cutting inside, his cross will come in, and no one will be there. It'll fall to Ramos at the back post, kind of just outside the box on that left-hand side. He'll send it to Wharton with a low shot, and it'll be near post, and it'll be collected by Vestier. We mentioned him so much in that last broadcast that we covered Austin, just how good of a pair of hands he is for this Gamecock squad. First clean sheet, like we said, first clean sheet of the season last game against Upstate. He's looking to continue that streak, especially after some kind of harder games in the season. He almost got one against Belmont. Unfortunately, they conceded a penalty. So he didn't concede one from open play, but still one went into the net.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that it's great to have a goaltender you trust so that you can attack more on the other side of the field.
Yep. Nilsson will find Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy will spray a ball out to the right-hand side for Kowalski.
We also talked about
intercepted out of play by Ramos.
We also talked about on the game Tuesday, USC Upstate had no pressure in the box. East Tennessee State just had their first cross into the center. No one was there, but you could definitely see signs that they are more willing to get into the box than USC Upstate was. East Tennessee looking for that attack early.
Yep. Possession lies on the left-hand side with William Nilsson. And we'll send it back to his captain and center back, Andrew Goldsworthy, former Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Week last week. Pass will come out to Kowalski. And back to Goldsworthy. Velasquez Lopez dropping deep to receive a pass. See if he can do anything with it. Dribbling now, and we'll play it back out to Kowalski. Goal scorer in the last match. He's been happy to come back from injury and be able to have a big impact on that last game. Goldsworthy will send a pass just too far for Nilsson, and it'll go out for another throw for ETSU.
Yeah, Gamecocks have been very sound on that defensive line, moving it back in between each other, but that was just a miscommunication there.
Salkeld with Griffith on his back. We'll send it to Cruz. And back over to Ninehouse. And back to Nico Cruz. Salkeld now in possession on this right-hand side, looking for someone. No one's moving for him. It'll be intercepted by Ted Cargill, who will send it to Bryce Griffiths in the middle of the park. And back to Ethan Ballack just inside of the center circle. He'll recycle possession to Camden Kowalski, who now passes it to William Nilsson. Velasquez Lopez taking up some space on this left-hand side, trying something different for the Gamecocks, as Nilsson will send a ball back over to Kowalski. Kowalski will find Einar Ness for the first time in this game, as he'll send it right back on that right side. Nilsson with a long ball in, looking for Ness just towards the goal there, but it'll be collected by Cuadio, who has been able to really get his hands on all of those long balls that the Gamecocks have been trying. He'll send it back out to Cruz on this right side.
Yeah, that one had some headwind on it as well. Wind's blowing all different directions. Now it's kind of facing away from us towards Philip Verster. So he really had to put some power behind that one, and maybe just had too much power.
Diragon sending a ball across the field and through to Bahur, who will look to try to get across, and he's backed up towards the corner. Will try to take on Burgess. He will find Salkeld at the top of the box with a ball into the back post. Header comes in, but it'll come off of his own man, and ball booted away to the other side of the pitch by Andrew Goldsworthy. As our notes are flying everywhere, we mentioned the wind. I'm going to close that window up.
Yeah, definitely coming at us now. Just talked about how many different directions it's been going.
Cross comes in and is deflected away by Andrew Goldsworthy, who hit
Oh my
just
goodness.
about clear the jumbotron over there.
Wow. It's
The
quite-
scoreboard, excuse me.
That'd be phenomenal in intramural kickball. Yeah, he would definitely bat clean up on my squad. He booted that
Back
thing.
up, guys. Back up. Big kick. Big kick. Throw will come into Diragon on this left-hand side for the Bucks. Ramos with the ball, looking for a cross. Andrew Goldsworthy will fake a clearance that will roll all the way to Vestir, who will kind of urge his squad to take a break for a minute. They'll want to keep some of that possession like they have been, not exert too much energy, especially with only 10 men on the field after that red card. If you're just joining us, Sebastian Revenlow, Morier being sent off just about 4 minutes into this game for a rough tackle on Enrique Cruz. Enrique Cruz had to be stretchered off. We're hoping he feels better soon. Kowalski now on the ball. Send it to Goldsworthy and to Velasquez Lopez dropping deep once more. They'll play a ball all the way out to this right-hand side looking for Einar Ness, but it'll be headed out by Diragon.
Diragon with a great play there. He made sure that if that went over his head, Gamecocks were in on the attack and had a man advantage there. So great composure.
Yep, it'll be a throw in from Andrew Goldsworthy, maybe looking to get this one at the box as numbers gather just outside the 6 for the Gamecocks. See what he can do with this throw. He's got a long throw and a big kick, as we just mentioned. We'll see if they can get something going here.
Wind blowing this way now, so that's going to help him with the throw. Everyone kind of more in the middle of the field.
Ball comes in, looking to be headed on by Ballack, but it'll hit the head of Ulysses Hendrick for the first corner of the game for the Gamecocks. Ball will go over the fence into the shrubs, but luckily they've got plenty more for this first corner, excuse me, that will be taken by Alejandro Velasquez Lopez.
We saw they had a lot against USC Upstate, especially in the first half. It felt like it was just corner after corner. 29th corner of the season coming up. A big chunk of that was last Tuesday.
Absolutely. It'll be an in-swinger coming in from this right foot of Velasquez Lopez. The fans getting a little bit rowdy now. It'll come into the middle of the box. Goldsworthy's there to meet it, but so was the defender. Ball on the left-hand side, bouncing high in the air. Goldsworthy will go down, and trainers will come on to see if he's okay. Very urgent for the ref to stop it there, especially with injuries that could be head injuries. So we'll take a timeout here at just under 26 minutes left in this half. Austin, what have you seen so far?
Well, I've seen good attacks from both squads. Both long balls have been working. A few of them going askew, but as Goldsworthy back on his knees, I would have liked to see East Tennessee State get more guys in the box on the cross. Same thing I talked about on Tuesday. It's the only narrative I seem to have. And Carolina does a much better job of that. They just got to get more pressure in the offensive zone. They've been dilly-dallying back here on their defensive line. And it's been working. They've been getting up front, but haven't had any sustained pressure on offense. And I would just like to see more shots going towards the cage.
Absolutely. I mean, we mentioned nothing really coming from either side on the attack. I mean, Carolina getting some chances now on these set pieces. But, I mean, it's going to be hard, especially going a man down, as we mentioned, for the Gamecocks to be able to get some stuff going. So I think that's kind of what their game plan is just chew a little bit of clock with this possession, force, some of the East Tennessee State players to kind of get on their level of tiredness, especially because, I mean, 10 men, you'll have to be running around a lot more. And if East Tennessee State starts pressing, they'll start to feel a little bit of that tiredness too. So, yeah.
Yeah, as Gamecocks are getting some water here. They're catching their breath. Tony Annan getting a little fired up, clapping at him. Beautiful night here in Columbia. It was a long weekend for Gamecock fans. College game day was here in town. I can definitely feel it in my voice.
Oh, yeah.
Voice
was gone from a early time yesterday.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of football yesterday. A very controversial game on the Gamecocks and LSU Tigers side.
Yeah, the only thing that really came out of it for us was that video of the field goal, probably the worst one in the history of college game day since Pat McAfee started doing that.
Right in front of the stage.
Shoe went farther than the ball.
It did. It went higher than the ball, too. The ball did not go very far. Darius Rucker performed. That was great. He's an alum. Hootie and the Blowfish originated in South Carolina. Fun fact, Kenny Chesney went to East Tennessee State. So,
Seriously?
Darius Rucker versus Kenny Chesney here tonight.
I'm taking Rucker all day.
I'm taking Rucker as well, and I'm sure they're texting each other, shooting the string a little bit, and enjoying this good matchup so far. 19 minutes into this game,
There you go.
still 0-0.
Drop ball
Had to
for
do some math
Burgess
there.
here. We'll restart play here at Stone Stadium. We mentioned very windy. Ted Cargill on the ball. We'll send a long ball on that right-hand side to Einar Ness, but it'll be too far, and it'll go out for a goal kick. Austin now taking a picture of the skyline. Rightfully so, a beautiful one in Carolina.
I know a good sunset when I see one, and I'm going to document it as much as possible.
There you go. Put that one on Facebook.
Good wallpaper.
Cruz on the ball now for the Bucks. We'll send a long ball all the way up to Wharton, but it'll be headed away by Kowalski, and Cargill and Velazquez Lopez will bump it back to each other in the air, and possession will lie with Vestier just outside his 6.
Smart play there by Velazquez Lopez. Is now our tech producer, Doug. He's getting his picture, too. I'm telling you, it's a good picture. Frame-worthy. But that was a great play, making sure he did it. He didn't have to go to the defense there. Get it to Phillip, open the space, and he was able to clear it out. And now it's on the East Tennessee State side of the field.
Could have been a foul there on Ness, on Hendricks, but it'll be a throw. Ness will send it back to Kowalski. And as we've said many times, this broadcast will send it to Goldsworthy. Not to Wilson, not to Nilsson this time, but back to Kowalski, who gives it back to Captain Goldsworthy. Kowalski, Goldsworthy.
Playing catch here.
Vestier, here's a new name.
Yeah.
Here's a new
There you
name on
go.
possession, in possession for the Gamecocks. He'll send a long ball with his left foot looking for Einar Ness, but it'll be a foul on him as he held down Diragon. Didn't quite allow him to go up for that header. Not that he would have won it if he did. Kind of shorter than Ness, but, you know.
Yeah, Ness definitely had the size there on Eber, and maybe a bit of a sell by Eber there. He got the call for sure, but it's been a physical game so far. We've seen 2 players, one on each side, have to be attended by medical staff. This is definitely a physical, chippy game so far. No one's shying down from anybody.
Burgess stopping ETSU from getting a quick free kick after that foul from William Nilsson on number 10, Abdi Bahur. Bahur and Ramos connect nicely. It'll come back down to Salkeld to the left-hand side for Diragon, who'll send in a cross from way deep. It'll be headed away by Goldsworthy and fall to Ulysses Hendricks in the midfield. Pass out to the right wing will be intercepted by Burgess, and he'll send a long ball up just to try to get his defensive line up. That one never really had any intention of getting to Bryce Griffith. Diragon on the left side will send it into Salkeld. Salkeld will send it to Hendricks, who will look out to the right wing for Bahor. Bahor will send it back to his right back, Kroos. Push in the back there from William Nilsson, but it won't be called. Velazquez Lopez sending Jack Burgess free on the left side, who will play in Ballack, who is looking to cut into the middle of the field here, just out the top of the box. Beautiful bit of play for Ethan Ballack. What a goal. He must have been 5 guys into the box. Tricky little pass under the legs of the defender to give himself some space in the box just about the penalty spot. Will tuck it away with his left foot.
Oh my goodness, that might be one of the best goals we see this season. Ethan Ballack with a master class of a goal. I can't even count on one hand, maybe even 2, how many guys he just beat there. Dribbling through the legs, dribbling around people, great composure. And oh my goodness, I'm shocked. I have no words, to be honest with you. My mouth was open for at least 15 seconds after that goal. That was a beauty.
Beauty. He wears number 10 for a reason. He's a very technically gifted player for the Gamecocks. We mentioned how he probably has a little bit of a friendly rivalry with teammate Harrison Meyering, who is probably going to be mad he's not playing in this game now. But adds to his tally, 4 goals, 3 assists this season for Ethan Ballack, who's been probably their most important player in midfield. So 22:30 to go here. Gamecocks are now up 1-0 against the East Tennessee State Bucks.
I'm still in awe. That was
That was incredible, seriously.
We might have to tune into Sports Center tomorrow because I can guarantee you at the end of the hour, top 10 plays might be coming to Columbia.
Yeah.
Because that was a beauty for number 10 in white.
Crows will send it all the way back to Ninehouse, who will drive a little bit into midfield just outside the center circle. We'll send a through ball in, and it'll be kicked away by Jack Burgess.
Great job
that one there for Abdi Bahor.
Great job there by Burgess, just getting it out, not fiddling with it in the box, not allowing East Tennessee to kind of do anything there. And now they've got some pressure here, and this could be a great equalizer for East Tennessee State if they can immediately get one back.
It's going to be Ramos with an in-swinger on his right foot. Captain looking to get a good ball in. Ball is in. It'll be off the groin of Velazquez Lopez, and who'll be pushed in the back. It'll be a foul, and Vestier will collect the ball for this free kick for the Gamecocks. Not much really going on for East Tennessee State, but Abdi Bahor being a big part of what they're looking to accomplish. Specifically, he's been the most dangerous I've seen on the ball, doing some step overs, trying to beat William Nilsson on that left side of the Gamecocks defense.
He's a very shifty player in the midfield, and his midfielder teammate, Shuit Wharton, we've seen a couple flashes from him tonight. So watch out for number 10 and number 25 because they could make some noise for East Tennessee on offense.
Goldsworthy just kind of holding the ball up. 20 minutes to go here at Stone Stadium. Steer on the ball now. We'll send it out to Kowalski, the right back tonight. We mentioned got a nice header goal last week against USC Upstate. Goldsworthy and Vestier connecting back and forth, forcing Einarsson to start to press. And there he is. Bahur stealing the ball away from a poor touch of William Nilsson. It'll be a throw-in just outside the box area for East Tennessee State. It'll come back to Merrick and to Salkeld, who will look to send in a pass that should have been offside, I think. But ball now with Einarsson looking to send in a cross, but it'll be blocked by Jack Burgess. And Einarsson will look to win that one back. Fell William Nilsson in the process, and it'll be a free kick for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, over halfway through this first half here, just about 5-6 minutes ago, you asked me what I wanted to see more. And it was the attack from Carolina. Ethan Ballard kind of did it all himself there on that goal, but he had multiple guys who were on the attack with him. So definitely glad to see that the offense is starting to produce a little bit more. But East Tennessee State also finding a rhythm here as they've been on this side of the half.
Nilsson will send that long ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw for East Tennessee State. Taken by Merrick, who, of course, is the replacement for the injured Enrique Cruz, coming off after that poor challenge by Sebastian Revin-Lamorier that ended in a red card, initially a yellow, but got upgraded to a red. Goldsworthy showing some good physicality to stop that through ball into Einarsson. It'll go out for a Carolina throw. Kowalski now on this left side, kind of switching with William Nilsson. I think they kind of recognize the danger that could come from that right side of attack from East Tennessee State with Bahor. Kowalski kind of a faster player. That ball never went in on that throw, so it'll be a throw for the Bucks. And it will be taken by Merrick, who will find Bahur, but his touch will be poor. It'll fly into the stands, actually. And it'll be another Carolina throw.
Seems like no one wants the ball right now.
Seems like everybody wants to play it out for a throw. I mean, that ball will come all the way back to the back line with Andrew Goldsworthy, who, like we mentioned, has probably had the most touches in this game. Long ball from Nilsson looking for Einar Ness. It'll be headed back to, Cuadio, who, other than the goal, hasn't had much to do. I mean, Carolina been on the front foot for sure, especially in possession, but this ball to Wharton on the left-hand side, looking to attack Nilsson. Couple step overs down the byline. Left-footed cross will come in. It'll be deflected away by number 2, Andrew Goldsworthy. Steer giving him his props after that one.
Yeah, Versteer saying thank you for not letting that into the middle of the field and getting a redirect in front. Goldsworthy showing why he was Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week last week.
Absolutely. It'll be the second set piece, second corner opportunity for the Buccaneers. Ramos, of course, on an in-swinger comes in with his right foot. It'll be headed away, and we'll find Velasquez Lopez, who's got a 3-on-2 here with Griffith on his left, and he'll find Griffith with a lot of space. Left-footed shot comes in, and it'll go right past that right post. Looks like he kind of hit the ground before he hit the ball. Great chance for the Gamecocks.
Great acceleration, too. Everyone was down here in the box. East Tennessee State only had 2 guys back. And I'm going to be a hypocrite here. I said everyone needs to be up front. But they had 9 guys there and almost got caught in a 3-on-2. South Carolina did a great job recognizing that, heading the ball out, and everybody just took off the other way and showed their speed.
Yeah, Coach Alan Vitale being talked to by the ref is his game notes made it onto the field, and he left his touch line. It'll be a yellow for Alan Vitale. He's got more yellows than his team. So interesting there from the ref to come over and caution the coach.
A yellow for each team for very different reasons as well tonight. Obviously not going to affect anything on the field at this
Ness
moment.
is able to beat Henrik on the left side. He'll send in a cross that will be deflected, but it'll come back out to Ethan Ballack with a lovely turn. Another one. The crowd's oohing and awing.
So am I. That was on almost another highlight reel for Ethan Ballack. Just got kind of ran out of
by
room.
Wharton, though. And it'll be stolen back by Velasquez Lopez with a lovely touch around the defender. It's showtime here at Stone Stadium.
Everyone's trying to get a top 10 goal.
Velasquez Lopez with some trickery with that pass too, finding Ballack. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm watching 2014 Barcelona out here. Travella cross comes in. It'll be met by Ted Cargo. Volley will be terrible, actually. Come out to Burgess on the back post. He'll head it back out to Ted Cargo, as we mentioned, had 2 assists in that last game in that 4-0 victory against USC Upstate. Bryce Griffith trying to win that ball back, but it'll be sent out of bounds by the Buccaneers. I mean, watching that, I'm sure, you didn't really watch soccer growing up, but reminiscent of Danny Alves and Messi, just being able to knock the ball back and forth there was Ethan Ballack and Velasquez Lopez. It was like there was no one even in between them. They were able to just find each other like around all of the defense on this right-hand side of the Buccaneer defense.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. I did not grow up watching soccer. I played it in high school, but I know those names for those exact reasons.
Intercepted by Baher on this right side. Ronaldo chop in. He's in the box now, looking to unleash a cross. It'll whiz past Einarsson, and Ramos is there to hit the post. Einarsson with the rebound. Ramos again goes over the net. We got 2 Gamecocks down after that play. Kind of everyone putting their body on the line in the box to try to block those. But a lovely, lovely chance for Captain Ramos as he hits the post with a right-footed curler effort. Definitely beat Vestier on that one. Unfortunately for him, it hit the post as we'll take another injury timeout as a good friend of mine on the training squad, Colin, will come out and look at the Gamecocks to see how they're doing.
Yeah, that was I think everyone in this crowd held their breath because there were multiple opportunities for East Tennessee State there. Einarsson can't even believe it. He has his hands on his head.
So we see our good friend Luca in the crowd there in his Barcelona jersey. Speaking of Barcelona.
Yeah. Shout out Luca, big soccer fan. Knows a lot more than I do.
But it looks to be William Nilsson down on the ground here for the Gamecocks. Kind of had a very, very hard challenge there on that Einarsson shot. Maybe he got his foot tangled up in there. He's on his back talking to the trainers. We'll see what comes of this.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, this whole crowd was definitely scared because I thought East Tennessee State was about to tie this thing up, and goes off the post. And Phillip, along with the other Gamecocks on the field, can all take a sigh of relief.
Yep. Just under 14:30 here to go in this first half, where I got to say we've got a great turnout by the fans. We'll see if they stay after halftime. That's usually the story here at Stone Stadium. Nilsson looks to be fine. He's walking off on his own power with the trainers.
Yeah, Gamecocks have a great fan base here. They have over 6,000 against Winthrop this year and against Clemson, trying to get those points for football. But
Absolutely.
those matches rank first and second in the nation among attendance. So Gamecock fans really do show out, and a lot of them do actually stay here after the second half, especially if it's a close one like this one. We saw a good crowd the whole time against USC Upstate because it was kind of close for a while until mid-second half when South Carolina found a few more and opened that cushion. I think they're going to look to hopefully do the same tonight. I think it's a little closer than we expected, to be honest with you, so far. East Tennessee State putting up a great fight.
Nilsson coming back on the pitch for the Gamecocks, looking to be okay. Alfie Hughes looking to get ready to warm up on this sideline for the Gamecocks. As we mentioned, Kowalski now on the left-hand side of the defense for the Gamecocks. He'll receive the ball from Vestier. He'll drive the ball up. His pass is poor and will be intercepted by Wharton. Wharton doing some step-overs. We'll send in a through ball that will be intercepted by Kowalski. Ball to Griffiths on this left side is kicked out by Cruz. That ball coming from Einar Ness, who has also switched sides now, starting the game on the right side alongside Kowalski. But both of them have switched sides, seemingly with William Nilsson and Jack Burgess. Einar Ness will also take this throw for the Gamecocks.
A lot of action has been right in front of us on this left-hand side if you're facing the East Tennessee State goal.
Kowalski will send that ball back to Andrew Goldsworthy. Steers long ball will not find Jack Burgess, excuse me. It will find the head of Daragon, who will head it out of reach of any of the ball boys over the fence. Luckily, they've got some backup balls there, as we mentioned earlier. But Burgess will take this throw.
I don't think the one that went over the scoreboard has landed yet.
No, it's in orbit.
But East Tennessee State doing a great job getting the balls out and clearing them when they need to.
Ninehouse doing a good job to stop the trickery there from Jack Burgess. Skalkeld will send a ball to the left-hand side for his teammate, Ramos. Ninehouse sending a ball across the back line to Kroos. Kroos yelling at his defenders to come, or at his attackers to come short for him to be able to get that pass off. Wharton now will send the ball back all the way to Henricks.
Good job by the Gamecocks defense, double teaming Wharton there. Didn't allow him to cross it in, and they had to retreat and set something back up. But here they come right back.
Ninehouse finding Kolbjornsson, who has just come on, I guess, for Ramos. Wharton sending a ball in. Cross will not be deflected. It will be a goal kick. Went just wide of the goal, but there was no real angle there. Vestier had it covered.
Good job by Versteer making sure he didn't touch that and accidentally handle it and let it go out of bounds to be a corner.
Ronnie McGrath and Alfie Hughes coming on for the Gamecocks as Einar Ness and Bryce Griffith get a rest. We mentioned in the last game, Alfie Hughes, of course, transferred from Boston College, spent time at a small club in England called Manchester United. No one really knows who they are. And Ronnie McGrath, the freshman, looking to make an impact on this left side. As I said, he came off for Einar Ness.
Who's your favorite team? Who do you rep?
The biggest team in the world, Manchester City. Not just in Europe, but the world.
So it probably definitely pained you to say that statistic.
Oh, no, it was easy. They're pretty irrelevant nowadays, so, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically rhyme Manchester United and irrelevant, so, I mean, they're two, peas in a pod, actually. Kroos on the ball will be intercepted by Hughes for his first touch of the game. Velazquez Lopez will have possession now. Send a left-footed through ball into Ronnie McGrath, who's looking to get a cross in with his first touch of the game. He'll stop short and whip a cross in that will just miss everybody. Looked like it could have looped into that top right corner, but too wide, and it'll go out for a goal kick.
Looks like he was looking for Hughes there. It was just a little too hard.
Yeah.
Still trying to warm up. He just got in the game with about 10 minutes to go here in the first half. So definitely seen a lot of new guys hit the field tonight for South Carolina.
As we mentioned, it's not a very difficult matchup for them, but anything can happen. So we'll see. Hendricks on the ball now in midfield. We'll send it out to Kroos, the right center back. We'll send it to Kjolbjornsson, number 9, who's just come on, man from Iceland. Dropping a little bit deep as a number 9. We'll find Wharton.
Yeah, and you pointed out before we got on this broadcast, a lot of these guys at East Tennessee State are not from America. So a lot of international experience.
Absolutely. Ramos on the ball. We'll send in a ball to Daragon at the top of the box. He'll look to send in, we'll look to send in Skalkeld, but it'll be kicked away by Nilsson.
Another good play by Goldsworthy there. Even, he blocked that pass going into the box, but even when he fumbled with it a little bit, he made sure he just quickly got it out, had some quick thinking and quick reaction time, and
As
made sure.
Daragon slips, looks like he was on a slip and slide there running towards the ball, but possession will stay with East Tennessee State with Kroos, who will send in a ball to the back post looking for Ramos. His header on will be flicked on, but it will be offside, and Gamecocks will receive another set piece.
Yeah, we talked about sustained pressure earlier in this half, and Carolina has the advantage 1-0, but it feels like East Tennessee State has been controlling a lot more possession of this ball.
I mean, that'll happen, especially with Sebastian Reveille-Lamourier coming off for that red card. But Gamecocks doing very well in possession when they do have the ball, but it's just a little bit harder for them to defend with one guy down.
Yeah, I think Tony Annan would like to see them keep the ball on the side, on the East Tennessee State side of the field.
Long ball from Vestier will come in for Jack Burgess. It'll come off the back of Ramos, who we mentioned is their captain and has great leadership on the field and off the field.
And if we're talking strategy, do you want to see a pressure? Do you want to see people go after it, or do you want to see them kind of control the game and possess the ball with this 1-0 lead?
I think that for them, they should be holding onto the ball when they can, especially in possession. I mean, they've been able to kind of freely kick it around the back line. So anything they can do to waste some time when they've got a guy down. It's kind of like when we talk about hockey, when people are in the penalty kill. But this one's permanent, unfortunately, for the Gamecocks, as Goldsworthy will shield the ball out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, and part of that strategy is when, to put it in terms for your 3-year-old kids at home, when South Carolina has the ball, East Tennessee State does not. So they cannot score they cannot score if they don't have the ball. So there's pros and cons to each strategy, but I feel like there's a lot more pros when it comes to possessing the ball and controlling the clock.
You're a modern-day Socrates, Austin.
Oh, I try.
Goal kick from Vestier coming up. We'll go long as usual. It will bounce just over Jack Burgess' head and find Hendricks. Kolbjornsson fouled on the left sideline. Play restarted quickly through Duragon. Kroos on the ball now. We'll find Carrick, but it will be kicked out by Ronnie McGrath. As we mentioned, the freshman looking to have a big impact here. Maybe looking to find some more minutes later this season, especially in these smaller games for the Gamecocks.
South Carolina needs to hanker down here and make sure that they keep this ball out. 6:30 to go in the half. Things can get sloppy. You can be tired thinking about the water you're going to drink at halftime. And East Tennessee State could make you pay if you're not careful here.
Cargill stealing the possession away, but his touch too large, and play will be restarted in the half of East Tennessee State. Out to Herrick on this right side. Kroos with a header to his right back. We'll keep it in play by sending it all the way back to the goalkeeper Cuadio, who, other than the goal, hasn't had much to do.
Yeah, Verstier's been a lot, goalie on the other side of the field. Verstier has been a lot more busy tonight than he was against USC Upstate. It felt like he was, cold, like just picking at the grass because he had nothing to do. He's definitely had his fair share of saves tonight, and one that went off the post just a few minutes ago.
On the pitch now for the Buccaneers is Bentoncourt, number 6. He has just come on. Wharton in possession in midfield. Will send it to Ramos, but it'll be intercepted by Ethan Ballack. Alfie Hughes now with some trickery. Some drops of the shoulder, some shoulder feints to get out of pressure there.
Yeah, we talk about all the goals that are scored with nice moves, but defensively, that was a great job using his skills to dribble around these defense and get out of pressure.
Cargill with his pass to Velasquez Lopez, who will be fouled. A little bit of a tug of the shirt there from Ninehouse, the man from the Netherlands.
Yeah, that one was right in front of Benjamin Oakley. He was not letting that one slide. He's been letting a few things slide tonight. You know, obviously, if it was egregious, he would call it. Like we've seen 2 yellow cards, or 1 yellow card, 1 red card called tonight. But other than that, he's letting the boys play, and it's been a very physical game at that.
And I think when he has had to stop play, it's been for the right reasons. Obviously,
100%.
the red was just a horrendous tackle by Revan Lamorier. So, I mean, he's made the good calls tonight. I mean, better than the ones in the LSU game yesterday, we'll say that much.
Don't get me started or I could get fired.
Ball out to the right-hand side for Wharton, but it'll be shielded. Shielded. Tried to be shielded out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for the Gamecocks as Wharton kind of gets around Kowalski and kicks the ball straight into his freaking nose.
Yeah,
That looked painful.
An aggressive play. Wharton tried to kind of like almost bicycle kick it a little bit and get it out.
Yeah, scissor kick to the face.
That's going to hurt tomorrow for.
His adrenaline's pumping. He won't feel until he wakes up. But
yeah, Kowalski's a big guy too. We talk about the size of this South Carolina team a lot. You know, he's one of those guys who like to get physical playing that defense spot. So I think he'll be fine.
Long ball from Vestier on this on the free kick. Be headed out by Kroos. Marvick on the throw. We'll send it back to Kroos and to Cuadio. We'll send it out to his left back, Diragon. Diragon will find number 6, who has just come on, as we mentioned, Benton Court. Pushing the ball up the field now. It'll find Ramos on their left-hand side, who will send it in to Kolbjornsson. No foul there.
He's looking for one.
Yeah. Ballack looking to hold possession up a little bit. He's the only one in the other half, and he'll foul Ninehouse.
And it feels like players are kind of, you know, we talked about how physical it's getting, but they're starting to kind of like see what they can get away with and what they can't.
Yeah. Henrik will find Wharton, and it'll come back to him on the 1-2. Nice little bit of trickery to get around Ballack, who was pressing him there. Ninehouse will find a ball to Ramos, breaking the lines a little bit. With some space now in the midfield. We'll send it across to Kroos with some space to do something with it. We'll find Marvick on this right-hand side. We'll send it across. Header will be saved. Header coming in from Benton Court, having an instant impact, able to get a shot on goal. But as we mentioned, Vestier has been so important to this Gamecock squad so far this season, and he's not letting that one past him.
Yeah, I think Court wants that one back because he put it right in the chest of Vestier. He didn't have to move at all. It came right to him. He just had to make the catch. So I think if Court could get that one back, I think he's going to aim for one of the corners a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it was even a surprise he was able to get a head on it, especially with the size of the back line that South Carolina has put out there tonight.
But that's exactly what we saw, and that's exactly what I was emphasizing on Tuesday against USC Upstate. They were not getting any pressure on South Carolina, and now East Tennessee State has had a few crosses, have had a few free kicks or corner kicks, and it's a 1-0 game, almost halftime. Like it's sketchy for Carolina if it's in the middle of the field.
And Carolina will look to just kind of hold the ball if they can when they are in possession, or just boot it out, waste some time, go into halftime, have a talk with head coach Tony Annan about what to do when they're down a man.
You're talking about possession. It feels like East Tennessee State's had it for the second half of this first half.
Diragon sending a cross in. It's deflected by Nilsson back out to the left side, and ball looking for Ramos again will be booted out by Nilsson, almost onto the top of the building, adjacent to the field.
Might have broke a window.
We can't see. There's a giant flag in the way, but we didn't hear the crash, so I think he's chilling for now.
Under a minute to go in this first
Ronnie
half
McGrath on the defensive duty there. Left midfielder kicking the ball out. Done well so far to kind of suppress anything that Wharton's been able to look to do. Cruz on the ball as there's 30 seconds now, and fans are starting to head out for their concessions or bathroom breaks. Ramos will receive the ball on the left sideline, looking to go around Alfie Hughes. No dice. We'll send it back to Ninehouse. We'll send in a pass at the top of the box to Kolbjornsson, but it'll fall to Benton Court. Cross now in from Diragon, and it'll be collected by Vestier who will be on the ground for a while as there's only 10 seconds left in this half. As we hear the PA announcer start to count us down as if we're going to the moon. But, you know,
A couple shots have from East Tennessee State there. They've, been in orbit because they just haven't been able to hit the goal unless it's a right post. It's been very, very sketchy for Carolina, like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. Versteer having to be busy in goal and make a few saves. I think Benjamin Oakley's kind of talking to him don't stand there and don't sit there and get it out quickly. But that's kind of Versteer's specialty. He'll grab the ball, hold on to it, and let Carolina catch their breath for just a few minutes. And if I'm East Tennessee State, I'm not really changing much to the game plan.
No, I mean, there's
it's
not much.
been working great so far. They just have been snake bitten and haven't been able to find the back of the net yet. But I'm sure they will very soon.
What can you really do against that goal from Ethan Ballack in that first half? Like, seriously, greatest goal I've seen this team score this season. Dribbled through 4 or 5 players, was able to find the bottom right corner with his left foot. Seriously, such an impressive goal. But if I'm Carolina, maybe I look to some of our more experienced players on the bench like Jonah Bigar. Maybe Harrison Myron comes in, try to seal this game for them. But there for sure will be a talk there for Tony Annan and his squad at halftime because, like we mentioned, they're down to 10 men now. Game plan's got to change a little bit from the one at the beginning of the 90. But that'll do it for the first half. We'll see you guys in about 15, 20 minutes for coverage of the second half. Welcome back to Stone Stadium for the second half. Once again, I'm Zander Collins, and I'm joined by my good friend Austin McConnell. Just to kind of give you a recap of what happened in this first half for the Gamecocks. 4 minutes in, red card for Sebastian Revelot-Maurier, who had, quite frankly, just a disgusting tackle on a big player for this East Tennessee State team in Enrique Cruz, who had 2 goals and 1 assist on the season. He had to be stretchered off. Also in the first half, as we mentioned, the Gamecocks are leading 1-0. A stunning goal by Ethan Ballack to get his 4th of the season.
I'm still in awe.
Dribbled through 4 players, was able to slot it away in the bottom right with his left foot. I mean, Austin's jaw was on the ground, basically.
Still haven't picked it back up. That was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
But you mentioned East Tennessee State losing one of their better scorers. We saw them hit the post. We saw them shoot one just over the crossbar. Even that last cross there at the end of the half was a little too close for comfort for Philip Versteer. Having him would have definitely been a lot of help on that offensive attack for East Tennessee State. Wow, I could not get that one out.
It's a mouthful for
sure.
It
is. And I think we're going to have to resort to ETSU for this second half.
Okay.
So I don't lose it and sound like I'm having a stroke. But definitely want to see what they're doing here in the second half. I kind of expect the same thing because it's been working. I said it right before half that they don't really have to change much. They just got to bury their shots when they're given the opportunity.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, different look for the Gamecocks tonight. I mean, there's some new players on the field now for the second half as well. Martin Yahya coming on, and Kieran Karp also on the pitch now. For the Gamecocks, as Yahya will kick this one off.
That's another thing I wanted to note. ETSU has used a lot of their bench guys. Had 4 substitutions there in the first half, and I doubt there'll be any short of players to use this second half as well.
Versteer with a long ball looking for Martin Yahya. His header will find Ninehouse. In possession now is number 9 for the Bucks, who will kind of a pink pinball there. See, he drives into the box. That is Ingar Kolbjornsson. On his right foot, will send it out to the left-hand side for Captain Ramos. He'll receive it back, looking to get it across him with his left foot. It will kind of held up nicely, but it'll be kicked away by Kieran Karp on the right side. Yahya now on the chase.
And the Gamecocks haven't looked phenomenal tonight by any means. Definitely came out a little slower there in the first half, but ETSU is going to have to kind of capitalize on the mistakes the Gamecocks made or make. That was one right there where it was like a little pinball action. The Gamecock midfielders just shooting it off each other almost allowed for an early goal for ETSU.
Ninehouse will send a ball out to Diragon, but it'll be too far for him, and it'll have the first throw-in of this half and the first one for the Gamecocks. It'll be Kieran Karp taking it. Not really too urgent to take it either. Like we mentioned, they're down to 10 men, so they'll look to waste about as much time as they possibly can because in college soccer, no stoppage time. So,
yeah, and last week on Tuesday, St. Just got his red card in the middle of the second half. 4 minutes into the game is when the Gamecocks went down a man, so they've been playing pretty much this entire game a man down, and it's hopefully not going to affect them too much.
With a double nutmeg there through 2 people. It'll be collected by Ramos, backed out to Hendricks in this midfield for the Buccaneers. Ramos now on the left wing will send in a long ball that will reach no one and will go out for a goal kick for Philippe Versteer. Freshman from Denmark, nicknamed the Great Dane. Been a very important part of this team, as we mentioned in the first half, got his first clean sheet of the season last week against USC Upstate, and what was an amazing performance by the whole team. Everybody getting in on the action there with what seemed like could have been a basketball score at one point, but just the 4. Just the 4.
Yeah, he's up to about 13, 14 saves on the season now, a couple coming tonight. We mentioned it earlier in the broadcast that he didn't have much to do on Tuesday, so he was definitely stone cold in goal. Tonight he's had to move around and has had to make a couple big saves.
When you mentioned the first half, Austin, how windy it is, and those balls that are coming in, the long balls are gaining a little bit of extra speed as Ronnie McGrath's on the ball now. We'll find Kieran Karp, who sends an early cross into Yahya, who will put it away. Yahya, already with a 1 goal on the season, will get his second in what is a beautiful header at the back post.
What a cross.
Early cross in by Kieran Karp.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what a beautiful cross. And 2 highlight reel goals off the head, and boom, shakalaka. It's in the back of the net. And 2-0, big goal for the Gamecocks. That extends their cushion. You want one more because 2-0 is not the best lead to have.
No, it's a scary one to have.
definitely a sigh of relief to be further away from ETSU's goal total.
Especially being down to 10 men.
Absolutely.
They've had to work a little bit harder to get these chances in possession because, they've got one less guy out there.
Exactly.
But Martin Yahya with his second goal of the season, and a beauty at that.
2 very good goals tonight. That second one was the first one was very individual team effort, or very individual effort from Ethan Ballack. The second one being a team effort, a collective effort, 3 guys there.
Ronnie McGrath finding Kieran Karp on the right wing, who sent in an early cross to the back post. Martin Yahya there to put it away. Fun fact, he was at my soccer game last weekend.
Was he?
Yes, he's good friends with some of our Argentinian players.
Very cool.
Martin, of course, from Argentina himself, there to support his friends.
You should have him come out and play with y'all. I feel like that would be a little unfair.
Oh no, it is.
The guy on scholarship.
It's very unfair. We have a player who used to play in the 3rd division of Argentina, and he scored 4 in his first game, and I was like, I'm never gonna play again. But back underway now is Ninehouse sending the ball over to Kroos, who will find number 8 and back out to Diragon, turning around, sending it back to his center back, Ninehouse. Cruz looking for Bentoncourt, is able to find him in the midfield. His pass will be headed away, though, by Ronnie McGrath. And now Velasquez Lopez with some space to break will almost be dispossessed and will finally be dispossessed. But Ted Cargill able to retain possession for the Gamecocks after that kind of confusing bit of possession there by Velasquez Lopez. Ronnie McGrath now on the ball with some space in the midfield will find Jack Burgess, who is now playing centrally, was playing out on the wing in the first half. But as we mentioned, some of these changes coming in with a different game plan, as we mentioned before going into half, that they would need to have going down to 10 men, of course, because of that red card by Revan Lomourier. Yahya now on the ball. We'll send it back out to Ronnie McGrath, and he will send it back to William Nilsson. Cargill now on the ball. We'll send it back to Andrew Goldsworthy in the middle of his half.
Yeah, I asked you in the first half.
Burgess with a long ball out to Kieran Karp. Won't be offside, but it will be out of bounds for a goal kick, as you were saying, Austin.
Yeah, well, real quick, just to touch on that, the flag's going left to right with the wind, so that ball definitely had some carry, like you mentioned, coming back from halftime. But first half, we were talking about the possession game, and I asked you, I was like, what would you rather have, possession or a stronger attack where you're taking every chance you're given? I think that narrative changes now that you have a 2-goal lead versus 1.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, something all my old coaches used to tell me was that the ball moves way faster than the players. So if you're able to keep possession and just keep them running, they're going to tire out so quickly, and you're not going to really exert as much energy.
Yeah, Gamecocks have made East Tennessee State use their substitutions. They've made 4 in the first half, and like we mentioned, we'll probably see a lot more here.
Cargill miscues a ball out to the left-hand side for Ronnie McGrath. It will be a throw-in for the Buccaneers, and Tony Cruz will receive, not Tony Cruz, sorry. His last name is Cruz, but Tony Cruz, of course, a Real Madrid legend. Got mixed up there. Duragon will send in a pass that will be deflected by Kieran Karp, who has got an assist on the night. Ramos back to Duragon. Burgess on the chase, and so is Yahya. That's something they also don't want to do, is they don't want to press too much, especially a man down.
Get caught.
That will, not only will they get caught, but they'll become so tired. It's got to be a connected thing as well. So I'm sure Yahya will do a good job of letting his teammates know when to press. Ramos sends in a left-footed cross to the back post. It will meet no one. Wharton won't be able to keep it in, and it'll be a throw for the Gamecocks. Ronnie McGrath getting a little bit aggressive there, the man from England.
Wharton was trying to show the ref that the ball was not completely out. Sideline official disagreed, and then a little shoving match there. But Wharton has speed. We've seen it. He played on our side right here, on the right side, going left to right. He shows a lot of speed, flashes, and bursts where he can make something happen, and he almost saved a possession there.
No, Wharton's been a big part of what they have been able to accomplish. Not much, but any attack that they've had, Wharton's been a part of it, and he's written his name on it. Yeah, him and Bahor are basically the most dangerous players for East Tennessee State tonight, just because of that speed. Carolina's backline, not the quickest. They are able to keep up. We saw some some managerial tactics from Tony Annan earlier in the game, switching Camden Kowalski and William Nilsson just to kind of be able to deal with those speedy wingers that East Tennessee State has. But now it is Ninehouse on the ball, looking to drive forward. And he'll send it out to Diragon. An overlapping ball was on, but Kieran Karp deflects it out of bounds. And Diragon will reset possession by throwing it back to his center back, Ninehouse. We'll send it across to Kroos. We'll send it out to the right-hand side, and he'll receive it back. Marvick coming on for Enrique Cruz in that first half, but doing well so far. Yahya with a lot of space now off of that misplaced pass. Velasquez Lopez will send the ball out wide to Kieran Karp, who's had success on this right-hand side so far. He will send it back to Camden Kowalski, who scored last game in his first minutes back from big injury.
Yeah, good to see he's back in at full strength again, full speed as well.
Nilsson will send the ball out to the left wing. That's Ronnie McGrath, who, interestingly enough, played for Leeds Academy, so he's got a lot of experience coming from England. York specifically coming over to the U.S. to play for this Gamecock squad.
We talked about that big international diversion for both these teams. It's having that experience playing for these international clubs.
Yep. Long ball will go out of reach of both sides, and it'll be a throw-in for East Tennessee State. Crows on the ball. We'll send it out to Marvick, who, as we mentioned, came on for the injured Cruz in the first half, but has been doing pretty well so far defensively. Long ball will be in sight of Ramos, but it will be a foul, as I think Wharton is pushed in the back on the header attempt. Looks as if it'll be Bentoncourt taking it in, or he'll hand it off to his captain, actually, Ramos. He showed in the first half why he's captain, being the first one to go over to the injured player and kind of just urge his other players to make sure he was okay. But for now, he'll be on free kick duty. Be sent in too far for Cruz at the back post, and it will be another goal kick for Philippe Vestier, who we mentioned in the last game didn't have much to do. This second half hasn't had much to do so far either.
Yeah, just under 10 minutes into this second half, and we talked about how ETSU needs to keep up the pressure on offense. Carolina has kind of flipped that switch and has found the back of the net and has been able to kind of, get used to staying in the East Tennessee State side of the field. But their defense has definitely been on duty tonight.
Carolina going short on that goal kick for the first time all match. But a longer pass will find itself at the foot of Velasquez Lopez. We'll find McGrath. And that pass will go all the way back to William Nilsson on the left side. He'll send it back to his goalkeeper, Vestier, who will tee up the long ball. Header on from Yahya will go all the way back to the goalkeeper, who also hasn't had much to do in Mark Cuadio.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Long ball in. Poor touch there from Einarsson, who's not able to get his foot on it. But it was a good ball. He just wasn't able to get a touch on it. Kind of a looping ball around the center back partnership of Goldsworthy and Kowalski on this right side.
Yeah, good try there. Good try there. Good field vision from Ninehouse. Almost connected with his man. That could have been a big-time goal for East Tennessee.
And Ninehouse again with a header away. Fortunately, it will find Kieran Karp. Yahya doing well to hold up there. Is able to get through and find Velasquez Lopez at the top of the box. Looking to unleash a shot. It's not going to be on for a through ball in for Burgess. And he'll be offside.
Oh, that was almost another beautiful goal from Carolina.
Play. That cross even beat Cuadio. McGrath was on the other side of the box for that one, but the ref put his flag up.
Yeah, that definitely.
Could have seen it gone either way.
That more than likely would have been a goal had that played on. It looks like one of the East Tennessee defensemen kind of got away with a bit of a hold. Fans wanted a reaction from the ref, Benjamin Oakley, but yeah, another great piece there from Carolina. They've really found their way and are communicating well on the field, and they just showed it there.
1-2 finds Bentoncourt on this right-hand side with a lot of space to send in across to the top of the box. Here's Selkman. He does not have a lot of space to get it off as even with 10 men down, or down to 10 men, the Gamecocks are able to apply some good pressure and make sure he's not able to get a shot off. Bentoncourt on the right side with the ball again. We'll send it out to Marvick. Shot comes in, deflected away. Yahya with a poor touch, but will win it back. Not as far as Bentoncourt, though.
Goldsworthy with another good stand in front of Versteer.
Cruz will send it across the back line. Now in the half of South Carolina to Ninehouse. Diragon on the left side will do a step over and beat Kieran Karp, but Ted Cargill, his partner in crime, will send it back out. Ramos looking to find Selkman. Back to Ramos, who can tease up a shot.
Oof.
It's going to be way left of the goal. First couple yards of it being in the air, it looked good, but kind of had some of the swerve on it, and Bastyr doesn't even need to dive after that one.
That was a very powerful shot, too. And coming back from the half, I said East Tennessee just needs to get shots on goal. They've been snake-bitten, hit the post once, and had a couple saves there for Phillip, but other than that, they've been skying balls. They've been way wide. That one was probably 10 feet off the left post. Just got to hit their target a little bit more, and this could be a very different game.
Gabriel Ramos, of course, hitting. Yeah, it's going to be a delay of game on Andrew Goldsworthy for kind of taking too much time on this goal kick. But as you said in the first half, Gabriel Ramos hit the right post with a shot that he had almost too much time in the box for after coming off of another shot from Einarsson. But, I mean, other than that.
At the end of the first half, Benjamin Oakley went up to Philip Versteer, who likes to take his time after making a save. He'll just kind of stand there. He kind of gave him a warning and really showed Goldsworthy that he was not messing around.
Kowalski with the long ball up in the general direction of Martin Yahya and Velasquez Lopez, but it'll be headed away. And now Wharton will send in Einarsson, has William Nilsson on his back, and William Nilsson will do good there to deflect a pass in that was looking for Kolbjornsson. Velasquez Lopez and Ronnie McGrath connecting nicely. McGrath will send out a ball looking to cross the field, but it'll be too far for Kieran Karp. Gives him a thumbs up, tells him it's a good idea. Just didn't come to fruition. As Salkeld does some nice trickery to get around Yahya, who's, we mentioned some of the substitutes coming on for the second half, connecting already, having a huge impact. Just under, or excuse me, just over 30 minutes left in this match. So within the first 15 minutes, they've been able to have a lot of success. Cross from Einarsson will be blocked by William Nilsson.
And one name we haven't mentioned tonight was Harrison Myring. We saw him warming up during halftime. It looked like he was maybe going to go in and get a chance, and maybe he still will. This game is 30 minutes from being over. But, you know, leading goal scorer for the team hasn't seen the field tonight.
I think that maybe he will come on for a third goal just to give them some insurance, but I think that the goal from Yahya will do just that. I mean, corner comes in, right-footed. It'll be headed out to the top of the box, only as far as Cruz, who will send it out to Wharton, who we mentioned has been dangerous. His left-footed cross will come into the back post, but it'll be dealt with nicely by Ted Cargill. He'll head it out of the box.
Good job by Cargill, just getting it up in the air, not allowing for anyone to kind of take that from
sends
him.
a ball in. Ronnie McGrath will head it out for, it's going to hit the corner flag. I think it'll be a throw-in, just as far of a throw-in as you can get without it being a corner. So he's done well there. A little bit of an awkward header off of Ronnie McGrath, who was in the box. Not the tallest either for the Gamecocks, so he's done well to win a header there. But Ramos will take the free, or will throw in quickly. Will receive it back off the 1-2, and look to find his center back, or excuse me, his right back, Marvick. Cross comes in, but headed away. Bentoncourt heads it up. Cargill is able to deal with it and kick it out. Yahya on the chase. Salkett is able to find Diragon, who finds Kolbjornsson. Kolbjornsson with a 1-2, finds himself near the top of the box. We'll send it across the field all the way to Marvick. Einarsson with a cross. It'll be done well to be deflected out by Goldsworthy, and now sent all the way up the field and out of play by William Nilsson. So the Gamecocks started this first half on the front foot, especially, I mean, they scored very early on, but now looking on the back foot as ETSU finally getting some chances going.
Yeah, the sustainable pressure we were talking about, and still can't get it on target, but they're very close, and they're doing a great job staying in the Carolina zone. Carolina hasn't been able to clear in a couple of attempts.
Yep. Velasquez Lopez does well to win the ball away from Bentoncourt. Bentoncourt steals the ball from him in an act of revenge. Ball will find Duragon in this left side for ETSU. Cross on the ground comes in from Ramos, but it'll be played all the way back out to this right-hand side for Marvick, who's been flying up and down both sides of the pitch, especially as there have been more chances coming ETSU's way. Duragon has kind of a terrible touch, but is still able to find Wharton. Don't get me wrong, he did better than I would do there, but it was still not a great touch. But he keeps the ball and retains possession for ETSU, who of having some of their more meaningful possession of the match. As the through ball comes in for Marvick, who's been able to fly up this right-hand side. Cross comes in and kicked out by Kowalski, who's kind of had to come over and shift into the middle of that defense. As I mentioned earlier in the first half, in possession, USC has been able to have a 3-back, but drop back kind of into that 4-back when defending. Ethan Ballack looking like he's ready to come on. We'll see who he comes on for soon.
Yeah, Ethan Ballack, another guy you just mentioned, trying to get that third goal and kind of ice this game a little bit.
Benjagor sends it out to the right side. Cross comes in.
Oof.
It's going to whiz past the face of the goal and be a throw-in just by the corner for the Gamecocks. And here he is, the man of the game, Ethan Ballack, coming on for, who's coming off for him? Jack Burgess, number 8. So Ethan Ballack hoping to have another goal like he did in the first half. We'll mention it on all game, I'm sure, but it was such a beautiful goal.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that goal for the rest of the season.
We'll be talking about that. Yeah, I was just about to say, we'll be talking about that goal in every game probably just because of how beautiful it was. But Jack Burgess puts in a good shift and will come out for some much-deserved rest for this Gamecock squad. Kowalski's throw will find Yahya's head, who will head it into the middle of the pitch, but only to Wharton. Kolbjornsson trying to dribble through 3 players there, but Ballack with his first touch of the game is able to poke it away, and now it is a 2v3 here as Yahya and Velasquez Lopez are looking to combine. It's going to be a bad challenge from Wharton from behind.
This could get ugly for Wharton.
Looking to come out with a card here, and referee awards Wharton with a yellow and the second yellow for this ETSU side tonight.
Yeah, fans like that. When I saw that coming, I saw Wharton tracking him down and just played from behind. It was not the smartest move. I feel like he could have taken the extra couple steps. He was faster than the man he was chasing. He could have taken those extra steps, gotten in front of him, and then maybe cut him off instead of just taking him down from behind, because now Carolina's gifted with a free kick.
Yeah, the free kick will be about 10, 20 yards from the top of the D, so he does well to, it's a good tactical foul. I mean, obviously he wouldn't want to be in the book, but that's what happens when, some of your fouls are facetious in nature. But ETSU now setting up their wall, listening to their goalkeeper, number 1, Mark Cuadio, but Velasquez Lopez will look to swing this one into the back post here. We'll see if someone can get ahead on it.
Benjamin Oakley, the head ref, telling him to hurry up. Lopez taking his sweet time, killing some more clock.
Ball comes in, but it is collected by Cuadio. Not even close to any of the Gamecocks that were in the box, and there were a lot.
Yeah.
Marvick now on the ball on this right-hand side of their defense. We'll look back to his partner in crime, Kroos. And Kroos will find Ninehouse. Pass deflected by Ballack. We'll go back to Ninehouse, but Ninehouse will kick it out of bounds, or out of play, excuse me. It'll be Camden Kowalski that will take this throw for the Gamecocks. Ballack coming short for him. He won't throw it to him. As they look to, like you were saying, Austin, chew a little bit of this clock. Intercepted by Bentoncourt, who will send it to Marvick, who's been able to get in a couple crosses from the right-hand side. We'll send in a through ball / cross the field ball, but it will be collected by Vestier, who's bringing out a little bit of drama and theatrics going to the ground on a pretty simple save there. Like we mentioned, they're just trying to waste some time. I'm sure they're tired going down to 10 men, especially as ETSU has been able to complete some more passes in their final third.
Yeah, simple save there from Verstier, but he also did make a great decision running out after it, not letting his defense, who was running from him, I think it was Goldsworthy, just kind of like fiddle with the ball and make anything disastrous happen. Verstier took matters into his own hands, literally.
Ninehouse finding Ramos, who will dummy it for Einarson, but Vestier does well to come off his line there and make sure nothing dangerous happens. I mean, you got to think, like we mentioned, the first half and some in the second half. He got his first clean sheet of the season last game against USC Upstate. I'm sure he loves that feeling and is hoping that no more chances come of it because, I mean, he's been playing well in goal. I mean, shots have been right at him when ETSU have been able to get shots off. Only one beat him, but it hit the post, so he'll be very happy about that.
And we talk about it in every sport we cover. You and I have done hockey before, and we're going to hopefully do a lot more sports together. But confidence and momentum are very real. It's very crazy what confidence and momentum can do, not only for you but your team. If you're playing good and you're feeling good, the guy next to you is going to be playing and feeling good, and it's just going to keep spreading throughout the organization. And we've kind of seen that. Like, the better one or two guys play, you know, Meyring's goals, Verstier's saves, the better they play, the better this team plays.
Cargill with a ball into Kieran Karp, and it'll be cut out all the way back to Camden Kowalski. Kowalski will find Cargill again, and he will find his defender, William Nilsson. Kind of with a heavy touch, but he's able to still keep it. But it'll go out of play too far for Ronnie McGrath.
I've seen a couple times Carolina hasn't been able to connect on those passes, especially cross field.
Well, they're having to look a little bit farther for their next pass, as we mentioned. Missing a big player in the midfield tonight, especially because he was sent off. So they're missing a player in general, but the player they are missing, Sebastian Revelot-Maurier, is a big part of this team's identity and possession. Also defensively as well, plays the 6. So he's all over the pitch for them and is being missed dearly, despite the scoreline being 2-0 to the Gamecocks. As Velasquez Lopez will foul Wharton, kind of getting a get back.
Oh no, another yellow.
It'll be a yellow. Maybe motivated by that previous challenge by Wharton. But play will be restarted quickly to Ninehouse.
Yeah, Lopez was along that sideline when it went out, and a couple East Tennessee State guys were ready to get that ball in play, but Lopez was obviously playing with the ball a little bit, not giving it to him. There's some pushing and shoving involved. I think Benjamin Oakley's kind of just like trying to keep a rein on this game and make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. We haven't seen it as physical as we did in the first half. There's definitely been a lot more challenges.
Cole Bjorsten able to unleash a cross with his left foot. It'll be deflected away by William Nilsson. Yahya with a heavy touch will have his pocket stolen from as ETSU keeps possession now. It will be an advantage by the ref after a kind of a run-into with Yahya. Ramos will send a ball out to the left-hand side for Duragon, sends a cross in. Far away is now booted up the field. Kind of a confusing play there, excuse me, folks. As the ball will lie with Bentecourt on the right side. We'll send an overlapping pass into Wharton. He's got 2 guys on his back. Not much he can do. We'll send a cross in, but it will go out of play before it even gets to this tier.
Marvick out there limping around just a little bit, trying to run his leg back under him. He was on the ground that entire play that you just called. He took a shot, no call. So right after I said it's not as physical as it has been in the first half, we see Marvick get blown up.
Maybe those players hear you and they're like, you know what?
Yeah. The announcer jinx is real, I guess. But yeah, that going back to that first goal where they had a 3-on-2, or not a goal, excuse me, the first attack where they had the 3-on-2 for Carolina. In the first half, East Tennessee State kind of got caught having everyone in the box. They've done a better job kind of conservative attacks where they have more guys up. They don't want to get caught sleeping again.
Velasquez Lopez will win possession for the Gamecocks, and Kowalski will send a long ball in to Yahya, who's unable to win the header. It'll be Cruz, and Yahya will steal it from him, play in a nice ball. It'll come off the back of Ballack, unfortunately, but Ronnie McGrath now with the ball in the box. We'll send it out to the left wing with Ballack. Ballack will send it back to McGrath. Ballack, nice challenge on Ballack there. Oh, my goodness. Ronnie McGrath will be called for the foul as he got a little bit too excited by the ball there, pushing his defender in the back. Kawadia will now take the free kick
Yeah, definitely extended his arm a little bit through his shoulder there. Tried to get him off the ball. Carolina with a good attack there, but it's short-lived.
Yeah, absolutely. The first attack in a few minutes, I mean, we mentioned every game we do Austin that there's these long balls don't work for Carolina, but they seem to lean on them a lot. Yahya having a lot of running to do, especially because he's been one of the only players pressing really hard when ETSU has possession in their own half. But if you're ETSU, you want that possession to be a little bit more meaningful and a little bit closer to the goal, especially at a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, and it makes more sense to play the long ball when you're deep in your own zone. You're just trying to clear the zone, get everybody pushed up, get that back line a little higher. But once you get into the offensive zone and your offensive half, you don't really want to play that long ball because, like you mentioned, it has not worked.
No. Wharton will send a bouncing pass back all the way to number 8. That is Louis Salkind. Ninehouse on the left-hand side will send it up to Diragon. Will send an overlapping pass to Ramos near the corner. Another overlapping pass to Diragon. Cross comes in, deflected by Kieran Karp, and it'll fall right into the hands of Vestir, who's receiving an ovation of sorts, not standing, but still an ovation by these fans who, I gotta say, Austin, is a really good turnout, especially for second half. We mentioned how people kind of leave after the first half after they've got their point towards the football game.
Exactly.
But still a lively crowd here at Eugene Stone Stadium as this long ball comes into Yahya.
Yeah, Gamecock Nation has led in attendance for I don't even know how many years now. It's been quite a few in a row, and they're on track to continue leading in the Sun Belt and nationally. They own the first and second largest match crowd of 2024 so far.
Long ball from Selkin will go out of play, and as we go to play, you were mentioning the Sun Belt, Austin. Coming up for the Gamecocks, 4 of their next 5 being conference play. Their next game, a huge one against number 6 right now, Marshall. You know, after that, I mean, they do get up a little bit of a break going against Queens University in Charlotte, kind of a smaller opponent. But the next 3 after that are all really difficult matchups against Coastal Carolina, Kentucky, Georgia State, all of which are in the Sun Belt, as I mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carolina they're no stranger to playing good teams. They just faced off against their longtime rival Clemson, who was number 1 when they came into Stone Stadium. They tied 2-2 at the beginning of the year. That's just another leg on the success of this Carolina story so far. They're going to look to keep that ship righted, and it's been a great start, one of the best they've ever seen here at South Carolina soccer-wise. So very excited to see where the rest of the season goes, but it's go time now. It's going to be a lot of hard games, a lot of different results.
It'll be a foul on Cargill here. Coming on for the Gamecocks is number 7, Bryce Griffiths, number 9, Einar Ness, and number 29, Micah Collandi. Diragon will find Ramos, who sends a long ball in, but it'll go kind of a miscommunication there between William Nielsen and his goalkeeper, Philip Vestir, looking as if Vestir was able to just catch it, but, you know, why not make things interesting? William Nielsen will head it up into the air, and Vestir will be able to claim that one, as he's been so good at doing this season.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous for Carolina. Self-imploding there. We heard everyone in the booth up here with us kind of went, uh-oh. And they definitely got a little scared and had a sigh of relief once Vestir got it in his possession.
Yep. Just about 16 minutes to play here at Stone Stadium, as a ball to the right-hand side will come in for ETSU. That will be Abdi Bahur. He's unable to make anything meaningful out of it, and will foul Collandi on his follow-through swing, trying to get that ball out. Just kind of getting their legs tangled there. And it'll be another free kick for Vestir. That being said, a lot out of our mouths tonight. He's earlier in the game, he had Andrew Goldsworthy take a goal kick for him just because he's had so many to deal with.
Yeah, we're not really used to calling his name that often because Tuesday was a very quiet night for him, like we've mentioned multiple times here tonight. But Vestir's been hot on the mic, having to make a lot of saves and goal kicks.
Ballack on the pursuit of Diragon, who does a nice turn. Kowalski kind of shoves down more in there, but on this right-hand side is Bahur. His shot will go wide.
Another wide shot. they're just not getting it on target as they could be. I feel like they could very well be on this scoreboard had they got a couple more on goal. The only really time they did get it on goal was when they hit that post. Other than that, it's been a very quiet night offensively on Versteer. In between the pipes, Versteer's had to come out and make a lot of big saves outside his box, but getting them actually on cage has been a struggle for the Buccaneers tonight.
Maybe they've heard us in the booth because here comes Andrew Goldsworthy with another goal kick, maybe trying to keep some possession and waste some time.
But he gives it right to Versteer.
Never mind. Here comes the long ball in from Versteer, looking for the smaller Bryce Griffith. I mean, they're two forwards. Kowalski will be fouled on his header attempt. Ramos kind of just getting under him and not even really going for the ball. But as I was saying, the forwards for Carolina, not even really tall. So, I mean, I really don't get the long ball game from them because they've been able to have such good, stretches of possession when they move the ball and keep it on the ground. But, I mean, here's another long ball from Kowalski. Griffith won't be able to get to it. But it will be poked out to Einar Ness, his touch too heavy. Again,
it doesn't work. You just mentioned it. I don't get it. And especially when they play these bigger, better Sunbelt teams who have a big defensive core. Like, you can't outsize them. You can't
that's not going
to
work against the likes of Marshall or Kentucky.
No, you're not going to be able to out-physicality them and just beat them off the ball like you have been with these lower teams.
Ballack with a little bit of space in the midfield and has room to drive. Will send a ball out to the left-hand side to William Nilsson. Collindy looking to send in Ballack again, but
this is what we want to see right here.
Intercepted.
That was a good connection between 4 or 5 players in white.
I mean, their second goal came from a little bit of interplay between Cargill and Kieran Karp.
Exactly.
I mean, the cross was in the air, obviously, but like it's that before. I mean, if they're going to be able to get up into the final third, they're going to need to keep the ball on the ground and keep working the ball, as I know they can do. I've seen them do it this season. It's just they seem to rely a lot on that long ball, and I'm sure you hear me say that 10 times a game just because they love to spray that ball straight back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, we definitely sound like a broken record saying it, but we're trying to prove, like, we're trying to emphasize how big of a deal it is. I feel like Carolina, having such a successful season, could do so much better if they just, keep these set pieces, they keep with the triangles and move up down the field with each other instead of just sending a guy to go run after it.
Exactly. And they give away possession, and as we mentioned, at 10 men, I mean, possession means everything as you're trying to run the clock out, and kicking it away just means they're going to have to defend more and even give ETSU a chance to claw back into this one. Throw in will come in from William Nilsson. Only as far as Colbjorsen for the Buccaneers. We'll send it out to Diragon on the left side. We'll send it to a nice little dummy there by, excuse me, I'm forgetting his name. Ramos, sorry.
Kowalski did a great job there, not really getting beat by that dummy. He stayed right behind Ramos, didn't allow him to get in front, and he eventually cleared it out of possession and out of harm's way.
Ninehouse will find Ramos, and Ramos will flick it out to the left side for Diragon. His cross will be blocked off of the back of Einar Nez, who's looked good coming on. Hasn't had a lot of minutes in the last couple games, but has looked very good coming on for the Gamecocks. Ramos will look to get a cross in, but he will barely be able to get a foot on it, and it'll be collected by Versteer again, as he'll hold the ball for a few minutes. Not a few minutes, a few seconds, but a few seconds turns into a few minutes if you do it that many times. So
the way he does it.
Yeah.
And if you're East Tennessee State, it's go time.
Slide tackle by Ballack. Ooh. His ball into Griffiths is a nice one. Griffiths with a nice little shot here. It'll be straight at Quadio, though. Kind of doing a nice little fake shot into a real shot there, but kind of similar to the header that ETSU had in the first half.
Carolina
straight at the goalkeeper.
Had the man advantage there. They had a kind of a 3-on-2 at the top of the box. It was a good shot, just felt a little too far out.
Just a little. Crows with a ball out to Marvik on the right side. We'll find Kolbjorsen, who will find Duragon, who's had a lot of space and time on this left-hand side during this game, but his pass almost being intercepted by Bryce Griffith. It'll be played back to Kroos. Kroos with a lot of space here, driving into the midfield. Will find a ball out to the right-hand side, and that will be a cross coming in. Dealt with well, though, kind of bouncing off of a few players, and Vestir will be there to once again collect the ball as he's looking for his second clean sheet of the game. Alfie Hughes getting ready to come on as well for the Gamecocks.
Still no Harrison Myring.
I don't think he'll come on in this one, especially with this score line that we've got here at Stone Stadium.
I know we were kind of watching it, but you know, and you mentioned maybe he was coming in to help out and get that third goal, but Carolina looks content just playing the ball up the field and keeping it on their half. They've had a few scares here, but Verstir's done a great job diving on balls.
Wharton looking to keep the ball in. Interesting. Not going to be a foul there. Alfie Hughes is going to be taking off number 29, Micah Collandi, who's come in for a short shift, but he's done his job. Unable to really get any passes connected, but he's been defending well on that left side.
ETSU matches the fresh legs that Carolina just put out there.
Yep, as number 17, Jimmy Choi coming on for his first minutes of the game. The freshman from South Korea looking to make an impact in these last 9 minutes here to go.
Another young international player that we've mentioned a few times here tonight. Both these teams are comprised of.
Kolbjorsen with a lovely turn. Will look to send in no one, actually. He will do a fake shot. And we'll send it out to number 21. That is Matthias Delelis. And Kieran Karp does well to send the ball all the way up the field into the other half of the field. Kroos will collect it with Bryce Griffith on his back on the chase now on Ninehouse. Goldsworthy intercepting that pass by sticking his foot in front of number 11. That's Lucas Nordin. It's going to be a foul on number 2, Ninehouse. It'll be a free kick for ETSU. Kind of just towards this, in line with the box, but on this left-hand side, just in between the center circle and the D.
Talked about the wind. It's been windy all night as it kind of comes into the booth here. This one's going against East Tennessee State.
Delelis with a ball in. Header comes in from Wharton, but it'll be sent out of bounds for another goal kick as Choi will make sure this process that Vestir's been able to really slow down is sped up as he kicks the ball over to the goalkeeper, trying to stop them from wasting time. Getting ready to come on is Grant Mateer for the Gamecocks for his first minutes of the game. Bryce Griffiths with the ball now. Nice little turn. Is dispossessed, though, by number 8, that is Louis Salkind. Kroos on the ball. Send it out to Wharton, who's deeper than usual. We'll send it across to Ninehouse. We'll find Kolbjorsen. Ninehouse with a long ball being sent into Bahor. He has a nice touch that is not nice enough, but it's poked away by Kieran Karp. Alfie Hughes now on the ball, making some magic happen, but ultimately dispossessed. Salkind sends in a long through ball, but is headed away by Andrew Goldsworthy, and that one will come off the head of Bahur and into the gloves of, you guessed it, Philippe Vestir.
Yeah, the man of the night for sure on the defense. We have to call his name because he makes a lot of saves, but to be honest, with how many possessions East Tennessee State has had, it's not really showing up on the stat sheet because of how
Ballack
many.
with a beautiful ball over to the left side. Unfortunately, Kieran Karp got too much of a late start on that one. Was unable to reach it. Grant Mateer coming on now for number 9, Einar Ness. Grant Mateer, of course, is number 16. And we'll send Bryce Griffith out to the right side of the pitch, and Mateer will kind of make his mark in the middle of the pitch in that front line as they kind of change formation here. Griffith will now be in the back line, kind of going for a 5 back here when they're out of possession. But Herr's unsuccessful dribble will come off the foot of William Nilsson, and it'll be a throw for ETSU. Austin, 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go. I mean, if you were to think if a comeback were to start, it would have happened a little bit a while ago for the Buccaneers. Not really having any urgency in possession, so we'll see how the game plays out. But what have you seen as far as possession for this ETSU side?
It's been good. It's been sustainable, which is exactly what I told them to do going into the second half, because they had a lot in the first, and they were able to sustain it. It's just the shots have been too array tonight, and it's going way too wide or way too high. Nothing has been on target. Had they at least gotten one on cage, I guarantee you they should be on the scoreboard right now, or at least making Versteer work a little bit more than he already has had to. But great possession game from both these teams tonight.
Yeah, the only one on target, of course, coming off the post, that was Ramos early in that first half, as Cargill sends it all the way up the pitch. Grant Mateer looking to run onto it, but loses his footing a little bit and slips. Not ideal for his looking to be what would have been his first touches of the game.
Another small yet shifty player for Carolina.
It'll be hit out for a corner. Maybe this will be the start of that comeback, as we were saying. But just under 4:30 to go here. We'll see. You mentioned something earlier in the broadcast, maybe, or earlier to me before we started, about goals in under 2 minutes for the Gamecocks. So they're looking to keep that clean sheet. Low cross comes in. It'll kind of go through everybody in the crowd, out to Wharton at the top of the box, who will send it to Neinhausen, an unfamiliar position on that left wing. He'll slide in, and that'll be no foul there. Interesting. But it will be a throw for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, that looked a little aggressive. I thought for sure they were going to get a call, but South Carolina's going to retain possession, so it really won't matter. Under 4 minutes now in this game.
Kowalski's throw will go over Griffiths and his defenders on his back, all the way out to Kroos, who has Ballack on his back, but is able to send the ball out wide to Wharton.
And I was going to try and say, like, probably around the 10-minute mark, I was going to say it's go time for East Tennessee. But literally, they having possession all game, around the 10-minute mark, they stopped having that sustained pressure. They haven't had the possession that they have had all game, so they haven't really been able to go whenever they want to.
Colbierson doing very well to keep the ball in, and will send a through ball into Jimmy Choi. Choi with a shot will kind of just bounce off the foot of Camden Kowalski and will fly right into the hands of Philip Vestier. 3 minutes to go here at Stone Stadium. Carolina sees the victory in sight, and will look to probably, I'd imagine, especially with 10 men, waste a little bit of time as Vestier is doing now. Mateer unable to win the header as Choi is on the ball now on this left wing. Looking to size up Kowalski here. Gets a ball back off the 1-2. Unleashes a shot with his left foot. It's blocked brilliantly by Kieran Karp. Or Kowalski, excuse me, who's slow to get up, because that one looked like it hurt.
That was a good give and go, but it never really got on the right foot. Kind of had a weird angle, had to slam on his brakes and adjust, flip his hips, so that kind of broke up the play.
Cruz's cross is blocked by Alfie Hughes, so even if it were to get around Hughes, it would have been pretty low, because Hughes is not the tallest player on the pitch, as we mentioned, from England.
Benjamin Oakley coming over to the ref at the scores table at midfield on the near side. He's checking something.
Play will be stopped here with 2:16 left in the second half. Here at Stone Stadium, is both coaches going over to see what's going on. Of course, we mentioned earlier in this half, Alan Vitale getting a caution. I guess he threw his notes out on the pitch. Lost his temper a little bit, left his touch line, and was cautioned for it. I'm interested to see what the call will be here.
Yeah, a couple A couple of East Tennessee State coaches come over.
I'm not sure what's going on here. The ref has entered the pitch again, looking to start play again. Kind of a confusion, I guess. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe
We're checking notes, comparing them, trying to see what it is.
asking the coaches what they're seeing in this game, I guess.
Getting those post-game interviews done early, I assume. It's a Sunday night, everyone trying to get home.
I don't know about you, Austin, but I got an 8:30 tomorrow, so.
I got a 10:45 stats exam that I am all but ready for.
You'll be fine. I know your professor.
Yeah, great guy from Kenya. Very nice guy.
Perhaps the nicest.
And that's what this broadcast has resorted to. 2 minutes to go. It's all but wrapped up, and we're
Not even joking. He's a lovely guy.
No, he's a great guy. Very nice. Shout out Jeffrey Ordero. Phenomenal guy. And while we're at shout-outs, shout out Spencer Ball. Actually knows Will Bowers, one of the goalkeepers here on East Tennessee. Spencer Ball and JP Barry. Ball Don't Lie on SGTV.
Check it out.
Check it out. I know they were filming tonight. Usually they're live on Sunday nights, but we kind of took that slot from them. So sorry guys. But they've been so nice to us, and they graduate this year. So we wish them the best of luck post South Carolina. But they're always welcome back, and everyone at SGTV has done such a great job over the years producing content in sports, creative media, entertainment, and everything. So that's where I met you pretty much. We had a couple classes together, but SGTV really brings a lot of people together. So we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight as well, because we do it for you guys.
1 minute to play here at Stone Stadium. Victory looking imminent for the Gamecocks, as a draw looks very, very unlikely from here. There aren't any buzzer beaters in soccer, so I guess they'll try to come out. I guess ETSU will try to come out with a goal just to save their pride a little bit, but looks unlikely with the way that Carolina's been able to defend, and they've been doing so well on the defensive side of the ball all season.
Yeah, within 30 seconds away, first time South Carolina's had a 3+ match winning streak since 2022, so in a couple years.
They deserved it, playing very well this season. I've been here for a lot of these games. We didn't mention it yet in this broadcast, but tying with who was number 1 in the nation at the time in Clemson, defending national champions. They've really played to the level of their competition as we get another countdown from the lovely PA here at Stone Stadium. It'll be a win for the Gamecocks as they keep their undefeated streak going.
And back-to-back shutouts for Versteer and the Gamecocks. As that one actually got shot from halfway to midfield and hit the crossbar. That's probably the best shot East Tennessee State has had all night.
Shame it doesn't count.
Shame it's after the buzzers. So great night here, Zander. That was another great win for the Gamecocks, and they continue their successful start to the season.
Absolutely. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Gamecocks will definitely use this as momentum as they take on number 6 Marshall next week. I'm sure that'll be covered by SGTV. Don't know who's going to be calling that one, but hopefully it'll be Austin and I. But yeah, as things wrap up here, we want to thank you for joining us one more time. I'm Zander Collins, and this is my good friend Austin McConnell for SGTV. Thank you, folks. Have a great night.